Math 2, Unit 13, Review 1 and 2. I'm going to go through and do all the questions in these two reviews. It might take a while. Obviously, you can fast forward through to the questions that you're interested in seeing explanations of. Alright, getting started. Finding the area of the shaded region. Leave the answer in terms of pi. Alright, so I think this guy is easier to think about cutting this guy in half and taking this half and moving him over here. So that what we really have is a square with a circle inside it. And so to find the area of the shaded region, we simply find the area of the square and subtract the area of the circle. Well, the square is 10 by 10, so to find the area of the square, it is base times height, or area equals 10 times 10, which means the area of the square is 100. And of course that's feet squared. Now to find the area of the circle, well, it's pi r squared, where r is the radius, and since the diameter of the circle has to be 10, the radius is 5. So it's area equals pi times 5 squared, or area equals 25 pi. So it is simply 100 minus 25 pi, and since this is not 100 pi, it's just 100 square feet, and this is 25 pi square feet, that's our answer. It is simply 100 minus 25 pi feet squared. Number 2, what is the formula used to find the volume of a prism or cylinder? Well, that's easy. It's volume equals big B times height, where if this is a triangular prism, the big B would be 1/2 base times height. If this was a rectangular prism, big B would simply be base times height. And if this was a circular prism, otherwise known as a cylinder, this would be pi r squared. And then you simply multiply. Once you have the big B, the base of the prism or cylinder, you multiply it times the height of the prism or the cylinder. For example, number 3, what is the volume of the prism? And this is a triangular prism, so the volume of the prism is big B times h. So let's find the area of the triangle, the base. So I'll do that over here. Big B, since it's a triangle, is going to be 1/2 the base of the triangle times the height of the triangle. And this causes a lot of students fits. This height is the height of the triangle, not the height of the prism. So don't get it mixed up. So big B is 1/2 the base, which is right here, 12, times the height of the triangle. We're only looking at the triangle here. I was looking at this one before. This is still 12. Still have to find this height here. To do that, we have to use Pythagorean theorem. So that's a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where a is 12 squared, b is what we're looking for, and c is 15, the hypotenuse. So we have 144 plus b squared equals 225. Okay? So when we subtract 144 from 225, we get b squared equals, and this is the height, of course, we're talking about, is 81. We take the square root of both sides and we get b equals 9. So I know the height is 9. And maybe some of you already knew that because 3 times 3, 3 times 4, 3 times 5. This is a 3, 4, 5 right triangle. Either way, 1/2 of 12 is 6, and 6 times 9 is 54. So all that work just to get our big B. Big B is 54. So the volume is 54 times the height Now the height is right here, 18. So the volume of this prism is 54 times 18, which is 972. And of course that's inches cubed, and that is C. Alright, so a lot of steps. First we had to find the base area. In order to find the base area, we had to find the height of the triangle through Pythagorean theorem. Once we had that, we could find the base area. We plugged it in, multiplied it times 18, the height of the actual prism. Okay, several steps, but you guys can do that. Alright, find the value of x to the nearest tenth when the volume of the triangle is 288. So we have the base of the triangle, the height of the triangle. What we're looking for is the height of the actual prism. So volume of a prism is big B times H. Now this is a triangular prism, so I'm going to rewrite it like this. Big B in this case, remember, just like before, is 1/2 the base of the triangle times the height of the triangle times the actual height of the prism. This is where we don't want to get mixed up. So they gave us the volume of this triangular prism is 288. It equals 1/2 the base of the triangle, which is 6, times the height of the triangle, which is 6, and then times the height of the prism, which we're looking for, and we're going to call x here. Alright, so we simply go 288 equals 6 times 6 is 36, and half of 36 is 18. So now we have 288 equals 18x. We divide both sides by 18, and we get x equals, let's just do the math here, 288 divided by 18 is 16. So the height of the pyramid is 16, and that is centimeters. Okay, number 5. Well, this got covered up a little bit, but it's the volume of the rectangular prism is 108 inches cubed. What is the value of x? Okay, so once again, volume of a prism is big B times H, and in this case we're going to call big B this square right here. How do I know it's a square? Because it's a rectangle where the height and the weight, or the height and the width are the same. So volume equals basically x times the height of, right here, 12. Well, that's volume equals x squared. So we're going to rewrite this as volume equals 12x squared. And in this case, remember, we know the volume is 108. So it's 108 equals 12x squared. We'll divide both sides by 12, and we get 9 equals x squared. Take the square root of both sides, and we get x equals 3, which is A. Moving on to number 6. Okay, so they want the volume of the solid. So we find the volume of the whole solid, and then we're just going to subtract the smaller one. So I like to, just to help me remember, it's the big solid minus the little negative space. So to find the volume of the solid, we're going to look at this as our face. So volume in this case of the solid, the big one, equals our base, or excuse me, is 8 times 6 right here. I could rewrite 6, rewrite 6 right there. So 6 times 8, that's big B times height, which is 6 times 8, or 48, times the height of 5, which gives us a volume of 240 centimeters cubed. But remember, we got to subtract the small area, which has a volume of, well, in this case, the big B is this base right here. 2 times 2 is 4, times the same height of 5, and we get a volume of 20. So it's going to be 240 minus 20, or a volume of 220 centimeters cubed.